Hello everyone, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of the Slayer Minotaur figure, black and white version from Super 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at him in packaging. Now I'm going to take a look at the figure and his accessories, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on him. And just remember, if you do like this video, go ahead and check out my music playlist and hit that like, share, and subscribe. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. All right, so here he is in packaging. I do like the packaging for this figure. So first off, you kind of have like a sky, like a nighttime sky behind him. You can see all these little dots here that represent stars. They put the pentagram here for him. And then you get this open window where you can see the figure, all his accessories. You got Slayer here, the Minotaur. You even get a pile of bricks that come up to here. So that's pretty cool. All right, so this side is just a continuation of the front. You can see more of the skyline. You can see fire and whatever underneath them. Spinning around here. It's more of a continuation of the front art. You got No Mercy. Show No Mercy, Slayer. And this is I believe it was an EP that this was. It wasn't a full album. I think it was an LP or an EP that the Minotaur is actually part of the cover art from one of the old Slayer albums, Super 7. Spinning around this way, you get the continuation of the front picture. All right, the Ultimates. And then underneath, you got your legal. So, with all that being said, let's open him up and see what he's about. So here he is out of packaging. He's an overall good looking figure. I like the way he looks. So let's start off with the rotation. So first you got this side here. Okay. Got the back. Got this side. And then back around the front. So let's start going into his finer details. First off, the head sculpt's really nice. I like the overall look to it with the flame on top. Even with his horns, if you look into his horns, you can see that they put a dry brush over them, which is really nice. You got the pentagram here. You know, the facial expressions look really cool. You got Slayer on the belt buckle. You got the studded wristbands and the top of his boots. So a lot of his detail is pretty cool. And if you look on either side of shoot, I can't get it right here. You got a star on this side, and then on this side you'll have a moon. We'll look at those a little bit more when I do his accessories, because he does have an alternate head. So when we pull the head off, we'll get a better look at those. Now, the one thing I'm not super impressed with is his cape. The cape kind of feels not that high quality of material. Like a lot of times when they do capes, you know, they feel really nice. This one kind of feels, you know, not that good. I mean, it works for the character. It looks nice enough, but I'm just not liking the feel of the quality of the cape. So, with all that being said, now let's start looking at his points of articulation. So, first off, the head does move. All right. You got a shoulder joint here. A little bit on the tight side, but it works. With a swivel. You got an elbow joint and a wrist joint. Get those arms up. All right. You got a joint right here in the torso, well, actually right under the ribs. And you also have a joint under the belt line. Spin them around this way. You do have a thigh joint, a knee joint, and you do have an ankle joint. So all those joints seem to work pretty well. They are a little bit tight, but not as bad as I've seen other figures. So now let's start getting into his accessories. So first off, like I said, there is an alternate head. So with a more open mouth. I kind of like this one a little bit better than that one. Okay. You get a couple dozen hands. So first off, you got your metal hands. All right. So you got 1 and 2. All right. You got 2 pointing hands. 1. Oops. 2. All right. You got 2 closed fists. So 1 and 2. All right. And you have what looks to be 2 more holding hands. So you got this one here. And this one here. And then last but not least, you have his sword. Now the sword is really nice. I love the detail into the sword where you have the red gem up top. Then you have die by the sword on the sword blade. And that's on both sides. So I really like that. So now let's see how well all this stuff works with them. So first off, let's try the sword in one of these hands. All right. There is a little bit of play to the fingers. And the sword feels a little soft. So it might all work out. Now probably the hardest part of this would be to get around that pummel. And around that thumb. I think once you get around the thumb, yeah, there it goes. You'll be all right. Now, luckily, the sword itself is soft. And that might be part of the problem. There it goes. Okay. So the sword does fit in this hand. I don't have any issues with the sword. So now let's try to swap some of these hands out. Ooh, all right. All right. Gave me a little bit of resistance, but they did come off. So that one popped on pretty well. That one too. So you do have your metal hands. All right. Swap one of those out for one of these. Okay. Swap you out for a closed fist. All right. So those work just as well. No issues. All right. Let's get one of these other holding hands here. Let's see how well the sword fits in one of these. I don't know why they gave him an extra set of holding hands when this one seems to work pretty well. All right. All right, this one's a little bit more solid than the other hand. So once again, I'm having the same issue with this hand that I had with the other one. Just getting it past that thumb and first finger. Whoops. Oh, there goes the hand itself. I'm going to try it this way. Just open it up while it's off of there. There it goes. And it does fit in there. So it is kind of on there. Just, let me get a screwdriver. Just a matter of working it around this other finger. That's where the problem comes in. He's trying to get it around this last finger that just wants to. There it goes. All right. So a little bit of prying, it does work. I don't have any issues with it. I'm not exactly sure why they gave them 2 sets of holding hands, but it works with both sets. So now let's try to swap this head out. All right, head came off. Now, this is what I was saying in the first part. So see how you have a moon on this side and a star on that side? Now, if you want to remove this, you can. Perfectly removable. Now, let's get the other head. See if this will actually go on. I might have to add heat to get this on. That's fighting me. So let me go get the bucket and add some heat to him. So now we let the head sit in the water for a little bit. This is hot water, so that's good for softening up the plastic. And man, that still wants to fight. Jeez. Let that sit in there another minute longer. Usually when I let something sit in the hot water for a minute or two, it just goes right on, but this guy is being resistant. Should be good and soft. Yeah, even the horns are soft now. There it goes. All right, so once it sat in the hot water a little bit, the head went on fine with no issues. So my final thoughts on this figure is I do like this figure. I think he's a really cool looking figure. I actually like the gray and black version, which I'm calling like a black and white version, opposed to the original red colored one. I think it's like a red and orange, which actually looks more like the Show No Mercy cover. But I don't know. I like the darker colors better. I think this looks really cool. All his joints work pretty well. I didn't have any issues with his joints. The sword, you do have to play with it and really work it to get it into the hands. You may want to use heat when you want to put the sword in the hand. It'll probably free up the fingers a lot easier, so you could get it in there better. And the head, obviously, you had to use heat to swap the heads out, which is pretty much common for Super 7 figures and what have you. So that was no big surprise to me. So other than that, he's a great looking figure. I'd highly recommend him for anybody who's a huge Slayer fan or even a metal fan who likes collective figures. I would recommend him for you guys. So with that being said, I hope you guys did like this review. If you did, go ahead and check out my metal playlist. My music playlist, and hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So, into the next one. Late.